Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the newest episode of EPPW Overtime, where we are putting in the overtime to bring you the latest news in EPPW. Tonight, we've got a jam-packed episode for you. We've got not one, but two special guests, including senior referee Dennis Williams and the newly crowned EPPW heavyweight champion Doken. I can't wait to get this episode started, so here we go. Welcome back to the EPPW Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me at this time, senior referee Dennis Williams.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome into the EPPW Lounge.
Thank you. Bear with me.
Absolutely. It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Because you've been featured on EPPW Overtime before. I see that you're working around an injury here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Fell in my driveway on some ice a little bit back and sprained my ankle in 4 different places. And thankfully, 3 of those 4 places have healed. So I'm very much on the road to recovery. And I have an appointment in 3 or 4 days with my orthopedic doctor to check up, see how we're doing here. And I am very much hoping and should be ready to go for spring break, April 19th.
Sweet.
And I'm more than ready to go up here. Because as much as I enjoyed sitting with you ringside, working with you, and also getting the opportunity to actually run the show for Kano, because he had a lot of stuff to do, and he's not much of a co-runner. But it was cool sitting with you, hanging out with you, and getting to work with you and all. But you know, when you cannot be in that ring, you miss it even more than you do when you're just casually sitting there. So I'm ready to go, sir. Ready to go.
Absolutely, man. We're excited to see you back in the thick of things, doing what you do best. With that being said, at this time, I'd like to head first dive into some fan questions that we have for you.
Okay.
So coming from Christopher Miller, he commented on the Facebook page, do you recall your first match that you got to officiate?
Christopher, I don't, and let me explain why. So, my dream for this industry was to be a play-by-play commentator. That is still my dream. I'm very happy in the role I'm doing now, but as I get older, I am looking to transition to that at some point. So I went to a promotion to audition for that, but they didn't have a need for that at the time. But they did need a ring announcer, so I started ring announcing. I also did a lot of backstage interviews and also hosted a talk show too. So I was you once upon a day. So I've sat in your chair many times. I haven't sat in this one very often. So this is an interesting experience. But I did some ring announcing for several months and went to a show to do. And we were supposed to have 4 referees for that show. And none of them showed up. And you have to cancel the show if you don't have referees. You cannot do a wrestling match without a referee. Just ask the backyard wrestlers. And so we were looking at canceling the show. We were like minutes away from showtime, and I just kind of raised my hand. I said, you know what, I'll do it. If somebody's got a shirt, I'll do it. And luckily there was a shirt, and I had about 3 to 4 minutes to talk with some of the wrestlers because, you know, they always want to tell you stuff like, this guy likes to pull hair, or the last time I fought him, he did this. Watch out for that, and stuff like that. So I went up to do the show. I do remember there was 10 matches. I do remember some of the guys that I worked with on that show, but I don't remember what the first actual match was because I was so nervous and I had so much on my mind, you know, first time doing this and all that. It was just a lot to mentally process. So really mentally, I just went through the motions and went off my instincts, and I really did not have a lot of time or chance to really process what happened at that show. Just a few memories here and there, but I don't actually remember my first match. So, sorry, man, but, you know, also getting a little older, too. That really doesn't help.
I'm sure it doesn't. The second question coming from Eric Thornton.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite match that you've got to officiate, or maybe several favorite matches that you've gotten to officiate?
Yeah, definitely have several. It's hard to narrow down because, you know, you have your different favorites or your different favorites for different reasons. You know, one of my favorites is the match we had at Absolute Domination back in December, the Triple Threat Iron Man match for the Cruiserweight title.
What a great match, man.
Yeah, Robbie Page and Jacob Edwin and John Roden, man, they put on a hell of a match. I mean, a hell of a match. And I was in there with them doing that, and it was 30 minutes of fast, furious action all over the place. There was never a dull second in that match, even let alone a dull minute. Incredible match. And ironically, a lot of my favorites are from EPPW because, sorry, but we are the best. But another, also, back in 2017, we had a match between Killian McMurphy and Chris Gatt. And it was all kicks and submissions. That's all they did. And you don't see that a lot anymore. You know, you'll see some kicks and some submissions, but a whole match of just kicks and submissions was incredible to watch. And, you know, I'm not trying to rub it in the fans' face out there, but I always have the best seat in the house. And I don't have to pay for it. I get paid for it. But, you know, being right there and seeing all that is amazing. And, I mean, just, I'm not kidding, straight kicks and submissions. An amazing matchup. And I'll give you a third just to make it a nice little trio here. Way back, I once refereed a match between Doken and Eric Polaris, and it was a street fight. And again, it was one of those situations where being right there, you know, it's just amazing watching what they were doing and stuff. And I was actually one of the first times I got hurt too was because Doken, it was inadvertent, but Doken did hit me with a cookie sheet. Which kind of knocked me out for a few and left me a little loopy for a couple of days. But those three are definite favorites, and there's probably a couple more, but you know I don't have a lot of time here. So hopefully that satisfies your question, sir, and continue.
Fantastic.
Got some more for me?
Thank you very much to the fans that posted those questions. I hope that was a good answer for you. With that being said, is there a favorite match type that you officiate? Do you have something that you prefer to officiate over rather than, say, a singles match?
Yeah, I love tag team matches.
Tag team matches, okay.
Oh yeah, man. They're usually very fast and furious, and there's so much to try to keep track of. You know, because when you have a singles match, you got two guys you have to keep track of, and there's so much you have to keep track of because you have to make sure they're safe. If there's any managers on the outside, you got to watch, make sure they ain't doing stupid stuff. And also, you know, this thankfully does not happen very often, but should a fan charge the ring, I have to be the one that sees that and react to it so that way nobody gets hurt. So there's a lot going on. But when you have four guys or even more in there, and there's just so much more to keep track of. You have fast pace, and, you know, I understand guys like to do their double team moves and stuff, but, you know, and getting them in and out is a challenge too. But tag matches have always been my favorite, just due to the pace and the activity, and you know it's one of the harder type matches to work for a referee is a tag match, especially to work it really really well and catch stuff. And of course, you know, the more guys you add to that tag match, the better it gets for me.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we're going to take a brief break, but we will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined here by my special guest, senior referee Dennis Williams. Thank you again for coming into the EPPW Lounge for this special episode of EPPW Overtime. Earlier you had stated the favorite match that you like to officiate is a tag team style match, and it's because of all the aspects that you have to pay attention to in the match, whether it be superstars trying to perform double team moves and getting them in and out of the ring, or possibly superstars or managers, for that matter, interfering in the match from the outside that you also have to pay attention to. I would like to speak to you about a certain match, talking about a certain match back in September of 2018. It was an EPPW Total Control.
Yeah.
The 5-on-5 elimination style match with trying to decide the ownership of EPPW between Team Kano and Team Izzy. We're finally down to those last competitors in that match, and you turn around and what? Right in the midsection, you get hit by a crutch from none other than SSW proud Tyson Creed. Can you
That crutch.
That crutch.
That crutch.
How about that?
Yeah. So it's served me well.
Can you expand on where your mind was at that point? How you were maybe shocked to see that there was somebody else that wasn't even booked in that match coming into that match to interfere?
Yeah, well, that match was a big freaking moment for EPPW. We had so much riding on that, you know, with the whole freaking co-ownership thing that's still going on thanks to this incident. it was a really big, important moment in EPPW history, and the guys at SSW came down to tailgate in our parking lot, and because they were mad because Doken wore their belt to our ring, because why should you not be proud of an accomplishment? But anyway, so the match 5-on-5 elimination tag. I mean, you talk about the ultimate tag match to work and be a part of, and much like the one match I mentioned earlier, is also just fast, furious action the whole time. And we got down to Izzy and Kano, and I could feel it in myself, the nervous anticipation. We were down to this, and there was so much riding on this, and I could feel it out in the crowd too. Because when you're in that ring, man, you can feel what that crowd's feeling, and this important moment, and it's always an honor to be in the ring, but when you're in the ring for an important moment like that, it's huge for you as well as for everybody else. And Kano, hit a superplex off the top, and they're both down. So I started administering the count, and guess what? The SSW guys, let's just call them guys, storm in from the parking lot and invade the ring. And I saw them coming because I was kind of actually facing towards the door when I was counting. And I if you look at the footage, you can see it. I'm kind of prepared to interject. And then kind of Tyson Creed kind of sidestepped me a little bit and jabbed me right in the ribs with that crutch. And I'm actually using that crutch because of that. It's just a nice little reminder of, what can go wrong. And, that really actually took me out of it because he hit me really hard. I had some very bad bruises there for a couple months. And, but after, I got up and realized, exactly what all had gone down. There isn't a word really to describe how enraged I was that they had invaded our show like this and had ruined that big moment for us. And, here we are still, co-ownership and constant power struggle going on. And, they had no right to invade our show for any reason. It was bad enough they were there tailgating. But no, they had to take things way too far and invade our match. And it enraged me. I admit, it enraged me. It did. And, it enrages me because, I was always raised to try to be very, very honorable and a man of integrity, and I try to bring that to the matches that I work. And I do, obviously I'm not perfect and I don't see everything that happens, but I always try to be a man of honesty, integrity, and this was not a gesture of honesty and integrity from them. So it was very enraging. It was very enraging.
I'm sure it was, and I imagine that rage continued to build as we rolled into December in absolute domination. The main event was Inferno versus EPPW heavyweight champion Corey Bush at the time, and you were unable to officiate that. We had a referee, Regis Miller, step in. Yeah. Can you explain or expand on your feelings, how you felt when the referee was paid off by Diamond X Cross in order to fix that match?
Well, enraged times two. I mean, I ended up officiating all of some of our shows last year, which I have no problem doing, but it's always best to have a backup, at least, in case something goes wrong. So I had a talk with Kano in the fall. I was like, you know what? Let's bring in a couple guys. Let's bring them in, give them a shot. Maybe I can work with them and help them improve, because I've gotten old enough now where I can start kind of training the next generation a little bit. And so we've brought a couple guys in, and Regis was one of them. And I'd met Regis before because I went up for the Rudy Rumble show last year. Can't go this year because of this, but I went up last year, and I met Regis at that show. He was there working it too. Did get the opportunity to talk with him. Seemed like a nice guy, so I invited him to come down. And for me to give another match away to another referee is they should consider that an honor, because if I'm willing to let them do what I think I should be doing, then it's a gesture of trust and faith and opportunity. And so not only did I give him one of my big matches, I gave him the biggest match of the year. I gave him the main event of our biggest show. And he double-crosses me. And, well, he double-crossed all of us, but he double-crossed me especially because I'm the one that gave him the opportunity, and I'm the one that vouched for him, and he goes and pulls this kind of crap. And, like I said, the referee position is a position of honesty and integrity, and he showed the exact opposite of that. And if you go back and watch the footage, I come right in frame because I was sitting with you watching during that, and I was very enraged. And at one point, I yelled at him. I was like, why? Why'd you do this? He went on about having to feed his kids and his grandkids, or some lame excuse. But I was very enraged to that too. And on a personal level too, because I opened up to that guy in a personal way, and gave him a big thing of mine, and he just gut punched me. Basically, and all of us, but especially me. And it's a shame, actually, that I didn't have the power to fire him. But Kano happened to be came out, and he fired him. So at least I got to see that, because I haven't seen or heard anything from Regis since, which is probably a good thing on his part, especially now that I have a crutch. But yeah, I mean, I was just enraged, man. I think we all were. I think you were too. It was just bad, and thankfully. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased and impartial, but thank God that Doken won the EPPW title back.
Amen.
Thank God.
Amen, man.
So, yeah, very happy with that. So hopefully this situation is coming to its end. Hopefully.
Hopefully it is. Well, since Doken won the EPPW Heavyweight Championship last night, it was advertised that we were going to have the SSW Heavyweight Champion here for an interview, but that has changed now. So we'll get to that a little later on. Speaking of coming to an end, we have a show coming up on March 23rd. It is Never Quit 2, a fight to end muscular dystrophy, and Crucial Impact will return to face the tag team of the SSW Heavyweight Champion Inferno and Jason Valentine in a steel cage. Finally,
I gotta do it once. Whoop whoop.
Finally, we've come to an end of this months-long rivalry, and we are so excited to finally come to terms with ourselves in these companies. That being said, thank you very much for joining us here in the EPPW.
Thank you.
Senior official referee Dennis Williams. And we'll be right back after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome your newly crowned EPPW Heavyweight Champion, Doken. Good afternoon, how are you?
It is.
Sir. Thank you very much for stepping into the EPPW Lounge once again. Welcome back. It's been quite some time. So tonight I want to get things started off with a couple fan questions that we had.
All right.
We got a couple questions from Brenton Martin. He would like to know, what is your favorite singles match of all time, if you can pick it?
Favorite singles match? Man, I've had so many. I mean, really, I can't pick. I mean, really, it's not the favorite match in general. It's just the fact of having a match and having so many people sitting in the ring, around the ring, appreciating it, from the other wrestlers, the fans, everybody in the back. It just, I can't pick one match because of that, because it's all just so amazing to be able to be a part of. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right.
There's nothing like riding that wave of emotion that gets in there from a fantastic match between the fans, people in the back, everybody. It's a giant mutual respect. With that being said, would you have a favorite tag match by chance, or is that kind of the same deal?
Well, pretty much the same deal. It's just like I said, it's all about the emotion, really, for me.
Gotcha. All right, man. Well, let's address the elephant in the room here. The EPPW Heavyweight Championship around the waist of an EPPW superstar at last.
That's right.
Your 210-day reign as SSW Heavyweight Champion came to an end at SSW Ides of March, when you and Inferno faced off for a title-for-title match and a Trios of Hell match. Can you explain a little bit of that match and how you were preparing for that match?
Well, preparing for the match, I mean, it's kind of hard to get prepared for any type of hardcore match that involves any type of weapons. I mean, you do just take day by day and just smack yourself with a chair to get used to it. No, you just get balls up, get in there, and go. With Inferno, we battled for many, many months, back and forth for the SSW title. He ended up winning this. Then we battled for both. Yesterday was special to me, but it's still also on my nerves. I still think I won that match, but really the most important thing is getting this back to West Virginia and Eastern Panhandle Pro Wrestling and the fans that truly love us.
I agree, man. I'm so excited to have this back. I can't wait for the new challengers that we have coming up for the EPPW Heavyweight Championship. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this short break.
Whoop, whoop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined here by my special guest, the EPPW Heavyweight Champion, Doken. After 4 years in the company, man, you have finally captured the EPPW Heavyweight Championship. How does it make you feel?
Well, it feels good. I mean, not so much for myself, but for the company and the fans. Middleweight West Virginia getting their title back away from PA and SSW. It's great.
It's a great feeling for everybody here. It's not just you, man. It's for me too. I'm excited to see what you're going to bring to the EPPW Heavyweight Championship picture. With you capturing the EPPW Heavyweight Champion, you have now become the second man in history to hold both the EPPW Heavyweight Championship and the EPPW Tag Team Championship. So you're making history, man, and I'm so proud of you. You've been doing so great. With that being said, we've got a question coming from Christopher Miller, and it's the question that is on everybody's mind. Why did you pick Titan as your tag team partner for Never Quit 2, the fight to end muscular dystrophy?
Well, the question should be, why wouldn't I pick Titan? I mean, I know there was a bump in the road, and we were enemies for a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we're friends again, but frenemies are better than nothing. And when you got a common goal, that common goal was to bury SSW, it's going to work out. I know it will. And not to mention, Crucial Impact's back, baby, one more time. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, man, we're all excited to see this match coming up at Never Quit 2, fight to end muscular dystrophy. I heard you earlier that you stated that you were going to be a fighting champion and that you would take on all comers. And I have actually just saw it. We posted earlier today that you'll be defending your EPPW Heavyweight Championship in a 7-man over-the-top battle royal on April 19th at EPPW Spring Break. And one of your competitors has been announced already. It is the leader of Sin, Gavin Jackson. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, I mean, Gavin Jackson has always been one of the top-notch stars in EPPW. I mean, there's no denying that. He's made a turn for the worst here with Sin, strength in numbers. I just hope he realizes there are no strength in numbers in battle royals. It's every man for himself. Definitely am I interested to see the other people added to this. And I'm telling you, it will be good because it's all EPPW.
That's right. The title's on the line, ladies and gentlemen. EPPW Spring Break, April 19th in a 7-man over-the-top rope battle royal. Stay tuned to the EPPW page to see the more competitors announced. At this time, I'd like to thank you, Doken, for coming into the EPPW Lounge.
Yes,
Welcome
thank you.
back. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here in the EPPW Lounge for EPPW Overtime. We look forward to seeing you here in April.
Whoop, whoop.